All right. Kind of got something that I've been thinking about the last several days. And something I've noticed, and I know a lot of you have noticed as well. I mean, it's been in the news and things like that too. With this whole coronavirus pandemic and all that stuff, you've seen where a lot of these governors, what's her name, Dittmeyer, whatever the hell her name is, in Michigan, and you got Janet Mills in Maine. I think she's in Maine, and there's another one in Wisconsin, and there's a few others, and where they're just really exercising their power. Is what their perceived power. They've gotten this excuse through this virus and pandemic with the lockdowns and stuff like that to restrain the people even further, and in defiant of trying to open up the country, and people are rebelling back. You've seen in Michigan, you've seen where armed Americans, armed citizens, are protesting and things like that. So, but there's also a lot of police that have been doing the same thing. And now this is not all of them. This is just a few bad apples in this whole bunch. Because there's a lot of police officers and sheriffs that are like standing with the people saying, hey, we're not going to infringe on these people's rights. We're not going to do it. And we're not going to do anything that goes against the Constitution. And that's good. Those are the good ones. It's these bad apples that are amongst them. We see a lot of these people. We've seen a lot of stories over the last several, weeks where, like, the guy was out surfboarding, the only one on the ocean, the only one at the beach, and they arrest him because he wasn't practicing social distancing. There's nobody else around, just him. The one where the 4 police officers arrest the guy in the park playing with his daughter. They were the only ones there. If there were other people, they were quite a ways away, like ways away. I never saw anybody except for the guy that was probably filming it. And they were just there by themselves. They weren't around anybody else. But then 4 unmasked, ungloved officers come in, throw him to the ground, arrest him, get in his face. It's like they arrest him for not practicing social distancing, the orders. It's like this is there's a lot of this. There's the some of the other protests going on where they were all spaced out. I saw one, I can't remember where it was. It might have been in Texas, but maybe not. But they were all spaced out from each other. I mean, we're talking like 10, 11 feet apart. And the police pulls up in a big armored, troop, vehicle. What do they call the MRAPs or whatever they are? And get out with their guns drawn on them. They're all standing around feet from each other, 10 feet. And then police draw down on them. I'm like, are you kidding? This was what I'm talking about. But you have these governors, what's her name in Michigan, Whitmire, whatever her name is, and then I think the one that was in Baltimore said that we will arrest you if you're not doing this, So would she say something about don't make us make you a criminal or something like that? Don't turn yourselves into a criminal, something like that. The whole thing, this whole deal is baffling, But that's my point, though, is that you see these people popping up, some of these governors, some of these other sheriffs and things like that, who are actually doing unconstitutional things, arresting, like the lady that's in Texas, opening up her salon back. and how even the governor and all those are fighting for her, even against his own orders, you know. So that's a developing story that's been just happening in the last day or two. But these other ones, this Michigan and Janet Mills and Wisconsin, and there's a couple others that are it's crazy. I call them little tyrants. That's what I'm calling these people, little tyrants, because it shows that when this stuff happens like this, when they've got this pandemic has given them the excuse to infringe on people's rights, and that makes them feel more powerful, gives them more power, basically, or they think they have more power. But it shows you that those people are tyrannical mindset, because look at their actions. That's why I call them little tyrants, because this whole thing has exposed a lot of these tyrannical type leaders. And they've all been voted in, whether it be governors, mayors, sheriffs, things like that. They've all been voted in. But what I say though is remember them. Remember those people. And when it comes time, vote every damn one of them out. And you see the people. The people are tired of it. They are rising up already. They're taking up arms, basically, in protesting in front of some of these capitals. You saw the one in California. You see the video where the Marine shouted down over the bullhorn, let them have it. There was a line of police with their batons. I guess they threw a pastor down on the ground, and they were all standing up there getting ready to, probably arrest a lot of people in this protest. But he stood there and told them about taking the oath and defending the oath against, foreign and domestic, enemies. And he let them have it. And eventually, they all walked off after about, I don't know how long the video was, after about 5 or 10 minutes, 20 minutes of them talking, of him telling them. Because he said he swore an oath to defend that. And that they did too. And how are they going to feel, when they go home and talk to their kids at night, and tell their kids in the future, hey, I threw the pastor down and stuff, what on your conscience? And they all eventually walked off, and I thought that was great. Because those people did swear an oath, all of them, to all of our liberties, not just the Second Amendment, but the First, the Third, the Fourth, all of them. I always say that if a politician or anybody that has a position where they swear an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States, that if you're unable to, or you are unwilling to, then you're in breach of contract, and you should be removed immediately, because you're swearing an oath to do just those things. And if you cannot live up to that, then you're in breach of contract. You cannot perform your job. You cannot perform your job that you swore an oath to. We've got so many politicians just in our country that are just defying the Constitution left and right like it's nothing. But every one of those people, I don't care who you are, left, right, middle, whatever, if you cannot abide by that law, swearing that oath that you swore to defend to uphold and defend the Constitution, then you are in breach of contract, and you should step down or be removed immediately and replaced by somebody who will. But that's the thing, though. All these people that are doing this stuff, they are in breach of their contracts of swearing the oath to defend and uphold and defend the Constitution, and it's showing you who the tyrants are. This event is showing you who the tyrants are. So, remember them. That's what I say. Remember them. And when it comes up to any time of them voting or anything like that, don't forget. And don't let others forget either. Hit your social media and stuff. Let them have it. Share that stuff whatever, and let people know that, because I know people are all, that watch my channel and all these other channels. You're all over the country. You're all over the country, and some of you are in different parts of the world. And that goes for you guys too, though, in different parts of the world. We're different here in the United States. I mean, we have the Constitution. We have that document that gives us, it doesn't give us our liberties. We all already have those liberties, and throughout the entire world, those are our liberties as people, as human beings. We just put them down on a piece of paper, that those God-given rights, that we just put those down on a piece of paper and made that a law. We did that, and thank God for that. We're blessed for that, because look what happened in Canada. You got Justin Trudeau, who just like 1,500 different types of firearms are now banned just like that because of an executive order. Well, he's going to have trouble, but they don't have a constitution. They don't have a Second Amendment. So they try something like that here, not only would there probably be an uprising, but at the same time, it'll be locked up in court for years. It just can't happen. It can happen. They've been trying. They're going to keep trying. But that's the deal, is all that. So, but I'm getting sidetracked here. But, it's the same thing, though. We all of us human beings have those God-given liberties, whether you have a constitution or not. Like I said, we just put that in a piece of paper and signed it into our country's founding. But you see all these little tyrants. That's what I'm calling them, little tyrants. And this whole pandemic has shown their true colors. So just remember them. Don't let anybody forget. You don't forget. And when it comes time to vote, vote them the hell out. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. And don't let them step on your rights and your liberties. Whether it be police, sheriffs, governors, mayors. Don't let them do it. Because that's not what this country is about. This country is about freedom. And we're losing little bits of it every day. But we need to keep on it. Anyway, there we go. That's enough of my rant. It's just, I don't want to go on too long. But that's the way I think about it, man. I just noticed over the last, and been thinking about it, it's been going on for weeks. So a lot of y'all are familiar with a lot of what's going on already. But that's just my take on these people. Little tyrants, and their true colors are showing. So, anyway, keep it heavy, y'all.